Hi there, I'm Sean, the Modern Yeoman, and I've been thinking a lot lately about progress. It's an elusive ideal here on the homestead. It seems like whenever we start on a project, we often encounter setbacks or difficulties almost immediately. One project here that hasn't experienced any setbacks, however, is the small house that my parents live on in the property. Frankly, I'm really amazed at what they've been able to accomplish in just a matter of a few weeks. So the last time that we walked through my parents' little cabin here on the property, it was maybe 2 months ago or so. It was before they moved in, but after my dad had started making some changes and improvements inside. Well, not much has changed on the outside of the little cabin. A lot has changed inside. So let's go see what they've done. Take two with the camera in your face.
Hey.
So very first, before we do anything, let's take a look at the vestibule, the foyer. Washer and dryer fit perfectly.
Yes.
It looks like there's a new light fixture up here.
We've got the disco ball effect up there. We're probably not going to keep that, but for now, part of the problem with that is the door, because it's such a small area. When the door opens, it comes real close to the bulb. So whatever we get for it's going to have to be pretty small.
Anyways, now that we're doing this again, can I ask you, is it okay if we walk through and see what you've done?
No, it's not. It's not. I'll come back some other time. Of course it's okay.
All right, let's take a look. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to check out is the very first room that we walk into, at least when we come in through the back, and that's the kitchen. There's a lot of work that's been done. Most of these cabinets are the same, but it looks like the lighting fixtures have been updated.
Yes, yeah, in fact, this one here, I just finished putting in last night. It was a couple of days ago I put that one in.
Well, what all have you done here in the kitchen?
Well, you can see we've put a lot of rugs down. At some point, if we decide to keep the house, which is, I guess, going to be part of another conversation, we want to redo the flooring in here. Flooring is something I've had some experience with, so that wouldn't be much of a problem. So in here, these cabinet doors were really ratted out. They were just overgrown with mold. In fact, you can see a little bit of it on some of the doors, but they were just hideous. So I had to get rid of those.
Well, they look great now.
Yeah, well, thank you. I actually just bought the materials at, it was either Lowe's or Home Depot, and put them together.
Well, it looks a lot more livable in here.
Yeah, it's I think much more comfy, and it suits our purposes just fine. So
I would say that your room, the master bedroom, was one of kind of the things that needed the most work.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I remember that there's a big old hole in this door.
Yeah, so replace the door. That wasn't something I wanted to even try to repair. It just had to be replaced. There's another door that we still need to replace. And you may remember when we taped in here before, I talked about putting some trim up, so I got that done. So in the bedroom, yeah, obviously we've moved furniture and stuff in here. So got the bed, little nightstand, dresser, put some stuff on the walls.
Still have the his queen and her king.
Yeah, that's gonna get painted over real soon. There are some holes that I covered up with
strategic wall art placement.
Yeah. So, and making good use out of the walk-in closet here. just in terms of stowing some things and of course clothes and things of that nature.
All right, we're going to venture into the bathroom here, the master bathroom, which still, as I see, needs a door, but the trim looks really good.
Yeah, this is wood that was actually in your barn, untreated, of course. It had been sitting up there, I think, in the loft for whoever, I mean, who knows how long. But anyway, kind of sanded it down, stained it, and repurposed it for the trim here on the door. And I think it looks pretty good. Painted this wall. This actually is the same color as the door. It doesn't have that same kind of pinkish hue to it. These walls are going to get painted, as I mentioned, within the very near future. So.
All right, now as we walk into the master bathroom, already you can tell that there's been a lot done. It's a much different place than it was when you moved in, and I think the before videos will bear that out.
Right, it had some challenges. We're still looking for a little curtain or drape or whatever. We've got a towel hanging up over there, but we'll get that in here pretty soon. For right now, I just wanted to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing, put some paint. And obviously I did the flooring, ripped up that old nasty blue carpet.
Who wants carpet in their bathroom?
I don't get it.
Well, all that seemed very impressive, but I think the crown jewel of what you've been able to accomplish is this main living area. Let's take a look at what you've done. Now already you can see that this is a much different space than what we originally walked into a couple months ago. There's been a lot done here, so I'm not going to ask you to go over every single little thing you've done, but besides moving in new flooring and furniture, what kind of things have you done to fix this room up?
Really the biggest thing in this room, apart from what you already mentioned, the carpet and the furniture, is the painting. Painted the entire room. It took a couple days to knock that out. A lot of nooks and crannies.
Would you say that this is the heartbeat of your activities? This is where you guys mostly hang out, is in here?
Oh yeah, between here and the kitchen.
You've got your little office over there.
Right. Yeah, and I'll use that from time to time. But it's worked out well. It's very.
So can we walk into this room right here?
Yeah.
This is what you're using as a storage room, correct?
Right.
/ cat room.
Yeah, the cat box and little litter box is there, and it is an overflow for our pantry over here, and then just a lot of stuff that little projects that we have going on. There's a big stack of paint over there, so we're just using it as really kind of an all-purpose room, storage, that sort of thing. At some point we do want to get a door on this, so it's kind of closed off, but
Not much has been done to this room in terms of renovation.
Correct.
This is just storage.
Yeah, nothing has been done. Other than, when we first looked at it, there was some furniture in here, and we removed that. Obviously, cleaned the carpets, and I think that's it. Honestly, in this room, and that was the intent all along. Is this is probably going to be the last room that we tackle, because it is just the place where we stage stuff that we're projects we're working on and that kind of thing.
You covered up the I'm watching with this fly swatter.
I think Mom did that.
And our tour of the inside concludes with the guest bedroom, the second bedroom.
This purple wall color is about to go away. In fact, probably beginning today.
You're going to start painting
Going to start painting it. Mom and I picked out a gallon of paint at Lowe's yesterday or 2 days ago that is supposed to cover this kind of dark paint in one coat. That remains to be seen. It's got a primer in it.
This is very dark.
It's very dark.
Teenage girl lived in this room.
Yeah. Not sure what she was going through, but apparently her folks, her parents, were okay with her painting it
Dark purple.
something that perhaps matched her mood at the time. I don't know. But we're going to lighten it up. The color, actually, Mom has the little sample color. It's kind of an off-white. What did they call it? December Starlight.
December Starlight definitely beats angsty teenage purple. All right, so that's the inside of the house. I think it might be kind of cool to walk on the front porch, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll follow you.
This door is going to have to be replaced. It's a really small door. I'm glad I'm only like 5'8". I don't have to duck to get underneath this thing. Yeah, the outside of the house, we do want to paint the vinyl. The vinyl really is in kind of rugged shape. We'll go over it first with a power washer. There's paint for vinyl siding, so we'll do that, and that'll clean it up a lot. That'll make a huge difference.
Yeah. Make sure not to get that. Now, you actually did quite a bit of repair to the front here.
Yeah, replaced a board, and there's a neighboring board right next to it
Popped up.
that popped up. Some of these boards just are going to have to be replaced. You can see another one that's kind of angled up over there. When the weather is a little more agreeable, I'll kind of take an account of each board and see which one needs to be replaced. But it's a fair-sized deck. We're pretty excited about being able to fully restore this thing. Probably get it stained or painted.
Put a little couple seats out here, maybe a patio set.
Yep, that's the plan.
Nice place to look out on the pasture
Oh,
and the
yeah.
chickens.
Yep.
And before this, prior to this, you lived in a modestly sized suburban house of around 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, 2160, I think.
And so this was a pretty significant drop in living space.
Right.
Now, have you and Mom noticed any discomfort from that move down towards a smaller living space?
No, not at all. In fact, that was something that she and I had talked about for some time, was the probability or possibility of downsizing, when it came to our retirement years. I was going to say winter years. I don't want to say that I'm in my winter years quite yet. Autumn. That's what we've done, really. And whether or not we choose to stay in this house.
That's actually my next question.
Shoot.
Do you plan to stay here?
Mm-hmm.
I know I asked you this very recently.
Yeah.
And it seems that your predilection shifts
Yes.
due to various factors. There's a lot of pros and cons to fixing this place up and making it better.
Right.
And staying here.
Yep.
You own it outright, for example. And there's a lot of pros and cons with getting a new place built on the property.
Right.
Now, is it okay if I ask where the wind is blowing as of today, the second week in January?
As of this very moment, we're leaning as of the last, I don't know, week or so, toward keeping this place.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, there are pros and cons. If you look at kind of the ledger for either decision, there are some significant pros and cons to either decision. So without getting into the weeds on all of that, not having a monthly payment, as you mentioned, we've had this place paid off. It's entirely ours. Getting back into another long-term mortgage, and there are issues where you have to use your land as collateral. Do we want to give that up? Those are obviously some significant cons to getting a new place. So, yeah, as of the last week, we've really started thinking about just making this our home.
Your tone doesn't suggest that that's any sort of compromise for you, or that that's you're just going to swallow and bear it. It sounds like you're fairly excited about the things that you can do here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are not interior designers or contractors or anything like that, but I think the things that we can do will really lend itself to making this place comfortable and cozy. It's a little over 1,000 square feet, which is probably the size of a lot of apartments. Mm-hmm. It's not a tiny house, quote unquote, where we're just elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, 300 square feet. Yeah, it's nothing like that. And we have found over the last month or so that we're very comfortable in this house. We don't feel like we're missing out on anything. All that to say, is there still a possibility that we might go with another, with a new home? There is, but we're leaning away from that right now.
Okay. What about the shift from a suburban life where you're closer into the city to something that's a little more rural, out in the country? It's a little further. It's a different, the surroundings are much different than what you came from.
Right.
Are you comfortable with the whole homesteading thing and having roosters crow in the morning and animals outside and things like that? Is that a lifestyle, the Green Acres thing, that you're comfortable with?
Absolutely. We love it, and it's so neat, just to watch how God operates. One of the things, in addition to talking about wanting to downsize and maybe getting into a smaller footprint of a home in our retirement years, we had also talked about wanting to get out of kind of the suburban mindset and everything that goes with it. Not that it was bad. We've been really blessed over the years. And the place that we moved out of, the neighborhood that we moved out of, is a wonderful neighborhood, great neighbors, probably middle to upper middle class in terms of the suburban neighborhood that we were in. But this location out here next to you guys, having, I guess, pretty close to 10 acres or maybe a little bit more than that to share, and everything that the land has to offer, it's a dream come true, really. It's something that we've talked about and wanted to do, so we're excited, we're happy.
It sounds like there's still quite a bit of work to be done.
Right, yeah. And so if we do decide to, 100%, this is what we're going to do, not if, but when we decide whatever path to take, if the decision is that we're going to keep this place, then there are some bigger things that we want to do. Some things that we're not equipped to do, some plumbing issues. We need to get a new heat pump. There are windows that need to be replaced. So some things that we're going to have to pay to have done. But in the grand scheme of things, that's a whole lot less money than the next 30 years of monthly payments, you know, for a new house. So more to follow.
Yeah, exciting. Very exciting. Thank you.
You bet. Anytime.